Hi guys, so in today's video I'll be talking about the toxicity of K-pop fans. Before we begin, I just want to say that I am aware that the things I will be mentioning in this video don't apply to every single K-pop fan in the world. I just wanted to make this video because even though it is probably only a small minority of K-pop fans who are toxic, they are still loud enough to make a negative impact. Also, another thing before we begin. I feel like after this video I won't be uploading for 3 or 4 weeks because I have exams after the Christmas holidays, and because I will be quite busy over the Christmas holidays I won't have time to study and make YouTube videos as well. I know I've only made 3 videos after my hiatus and I'm really sorry, but I hope you can understand that I want to make exams my top priority. Anyway, now we can start the video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the superiority complex that K-pop fans have. Some K-pop fans really act like they're superior to other people just because they like a genre of music. Do I have to remind you that K-pop is literally just pop music in Korean? You don't need to hate on fans of Western artists just because their faves don't sing in Korean or are based in Korea. It literally makes no sense. Also, one thing I've noticed is that second-gen stans seem to have a superiority complex as well. They always seem to be saying things like, "Oh, I miss the second gen," when K-pop fans weren't toxic. Now I do agree that the K-pop fandom wasn't as toxic then as it is now, but I genuinely think that is just because K-pop wasn't as big in the West as it is now. Because trust me, toxicity amongst K-pop fans isn't something that just appeared over the past 5 years. For example, remember when Taeyeon and Baekhyun were in a relationship but then they had to break up just because fans were sending them hate? Well, they were mostly sending hate to Taeyeon, but we'll get into that in more detail later. Do I also have to remind you when Taeyeon almost got kidnapped on stage? There are many more examples of toxicity in the second generation of K-pop which a simple Google search will tell you. I'm not saying that toxicity doesn't exist anymore, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. I just don't like when people try to act like toxic K-pop fans are a new thing when in reality they have existed for as long as K-pop has. Finally, fans of underrated groups seem to think that they are superior to fans of more popular groups. I've briefly mentioned this in previous videos, but you're not special for liking a group that isn't popular, especially if you're hating on groups that are popular. I understand that it's frustrating that your faves aren't doing so well in the charts or with sales, but you don't need to bring other groups down just to lift your faves up. Although, I feel like if you're hating on groups that are popular just because they're supposedly overrated, then you probably don't actually care about how your faves doing on the charts. You just want to seem quirky and different. Next, I want to talk about misogyny amongst K-pop fans. Obviously in every fandom you will have misogynistic people, but I'd say that K-pop is the most misogynistic fandom I'm in, and that's coming from someone who is also a Marvel fan. I feel like with K-pop, there is a lot of internalized misogyny because people think they actually have a chance with their faves, and in a way I do kind of get it because K-pop companies manipulate fans into thinking that fans will have a chance with their idols because that gets them more money, but it's honestly embarrassing how teenagers think they have a chance with idols who are in their 20s. Anyway, an example of this which happened recently was when Taehyung accidentally followed Jennie on Instagram and unfollowed her straight away, but unfortunately armies found out and started sending Jennie loads of hate. They were calling her a slut, which is very misogynistic, and also saying things like Taehyung would never love you, as if Jennie manipulated Taehyung into following her or something. Also, when 2 idols are revealed to be dating, the female idol always gets more hate than the male idol. I'll go back to the Taeyeon and Baekhyun example. Obviously both of them got hate, but the amount of hate that Baekhyun got doesn't even compare to the amount that Taeyeon got. Also, when Hyuna and Dawn revealed their relationship, people were saying that Hyuna ruined Dawn's career by revealing their relationship, but let's be real here. Hyuna wouldn't have revealed their relationship if her or Dawn were uncomfortable with it. So why were people making Hyuna out to be some evil manipulator who ruined an innocent man's career? It doesn't make sense. Also, there are so many double standards in K-pop. Like if a female idol has a resting bitch face, she's automatically evil and doesn't deserve to be an idol, whereas if a male idol has the exact same expression, he's cool, mysterious and a savage king. Some of you guys will complain how female idols are supposedly boring while male idols are funnier, but it's because female idols have to be more careful with what they say because they know they'll be completely destroyed on the internet for the dumbest reasons. I did kind of ramble here, but I hope you can understand the point I'm trying to get across. Next, I want to talk about how K-pop fans have this delusion that they're friends with their faves. K-pop fans don't seem to understand that at the end of the day, we are just fans of these idols and we don't know them personally. Like for example, if an idol gets accused of bullying, I'd understand why people would be skeptical, because especially recently there have been a lot of bullying accusations that have been proven to be false, and if there are inconsistencies or things that don't make sense in what the accuser is saying, then it's definitely okay to point that out. But to say things like this idol would never bully anyone is kind of ridiculous, because all we see of idols is this persona that they put on for the camera, and it could be completely different to how they are in real life. Also, some fans seem to think that it's okay for them to make quite rude jokes towards idols just because their members made those jokes. But you guys need to remember that these idols have boundaries. For example, if my sister called me stupid, I wouldn't mind because I know that she's joking, but if some random person who I'd never spoken to before called me stupid, I'd be hurt even if they were joking, because I wouldn't be able to tell as I don't know them. I'm sure these fans don't have bad intentions when saying these jokes, but you still need to remember that these idols don't know you, and you need to make sure that what you say to them doesn't come off as rude or hurtful. Finally, I want to talk about Koreaboos. I'm pretty sure every K-pop fan knows what a Koreaboo is, but just in case you don't, a Koreaboo is a non-Korean person who is so obsessed with Korean culture to the point where they wish to be reborn as a Korean person. They also fetishize East Asian people. I'm gonna be honest, when I first got into K-pop I genuinely couldn't get my head around the fact that this is a real thing. Koreaboos seem to have this idea in their head that South Korea is this magical land and everyone who lives there is a K-pop idol. They also usually say things like, when I go to Korea, all of the Korean men are going to fall in love with me and I'm going to have a Korean boyfriend. Some people even go as far as to get plastic surgery to change their appearance to try and look like a K-pop idol. It's honestly so weird, and it's kind of scary how their love for K-pop turned into a creepy obsession with Korean culture. Anyway, that's all for this video. Remember, like I said, this doesn't apply to every K-pop fan in the world, and most K-pop fans that I've met are really nice people. But obviously there are loads of toxic fans in the community and it does need to be addressed. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day or night, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.